We have a real adventure planned for this trip. I'm leaving out of Maraetai and heading around Waiheke and the surrounding islands for a full day of action. And then I'm going to meet up with mates on the mothership later in the day to spend the night on the water. If launching your boat by yourself is a hassle, but you love to fish like I do, then jet ski fishing could be for you. When the tide is out like it is today, I still have no problem launching the Wave Runner. The DMW trailer is light enough to take off the car and push out into the water by myself, and the fully rollered trailer means the Yamaha just rolls straight off. One thing I love about the Hauraki Gulf is its wide variety of sea life. Less than 5 minutes from the ramp I came across these guys playing and rounding up baitfish. Getting this close to dolphins is an amazing experience, and they just love to cruise alongside me, millimetres below the Yamaha's hull, sometimes for miles. As I cruised with the dolphins, we entered the Tīmātuku Marine Reserve. This is situated at the southeastern end of Waiheke Island and is marked by yellow land-based triangular markers and floating yellow buoys. It is also marked on all charts and GPSs, but I almost always see people fishing in there during a busy summer day, which is definitely not allowed. Make sure that you check your charts and know what the markers mean when you're out there on the water. I had somewhere to be, so it was time to get fishing. The trip out took me around the bottom end of Waiheke and past Pakatā Island, out towards a small island known as Shag Island. I'm only fishing in shallow water, so I'm starting with a 1/4 ounce jig head to ensure I have a nice light jig head to keep the soft baits action nice and natural. I could see some fish holding up off the bottom. As I drop down into them, boom! Got one on. It's a feisty one. Love fishing this 4 kilo line. Just such a sport. You get a fish on around that 3 kilo mark and you get a really good run for your money. Love to hear that drag sing. Here he comes, he's a nice one. I'm going to use the net for this one. And that's about a 3 kilo snapper. It's going to be a beautiful eater. It's right on the limit of what I like to keep to eat. See, he's hooked nicely in the corner of the mouth. Beautiful. Look at that. Right in the corner of the mouth with that soft bait, that 1/4 ounce jig head. Just hooked in there. And he's nicely hooked. I've cast it ahead of the drift. We're coming up from 14 metres right up to about 8. And the fish are taking it often on this spot on the way down, so you've really got to keep in touch with your line. That means just keeping it tight. We've cast ahead so that as I drift towards it, it's going to be straight up and down. That's where you get the most action, it's where you've got the most feel, and it's where you get the most hookups. Getting an inquiry, yep, on. Oh, feels, oh, dropped him. Felt like a nice one. He just had it, he was just mouthing it. And I lifted it, which set the hook. But he just didn't quite get hooked. The current started to run a bit, so I'm going to change the 1/4 ounce and I'm going to put on a 1/2 ounce sinker. Here we go. Yep, straight away. So that's the advantage of using the Lowrance sounder to its potential. You can just spot the fish, pull onto a tiny little spot. This one isn't a huge one, but we just pull onto a tiny little spot. The spot's only about 20 or 30 metres wide. And we're pulling straight onto some lovely eating fish. On any other day, that would be a perfect fish to go in the bin to eat. But we're going to let him go so he can swim again. Oh, inquiry straight away on arrival. Here we go. Oh, you just see that bend come in the rod. Real tentative inquiries. Remember, the fish don't have hands, so sometimes when they're not hungry, they're just using their teeth to just have a little nibble, just to see what it is. They might not be hungry, so if you're onto it though, you can hook them up. Yep. Nice one. That is a nice fish. Oh yeah. This could be what we were looking for. Just again drove over that sign. Saw a big patch of it there. Dropped straight into it. Ooh. With these big fish, you've got to make sure you've got everything ready for when it comes to the ski. He's a nice fish. I've got the net ready. He's popped up there on the surface. Oh, and he's in the net, and that's a beauty. That's a 10-pound specimen. That's what we came here for. Try and see what the islands of the Gulf can produce for us. No trouble finding fish. We got all sorts of sizes. We've ended up on this spot with this beauty. You can see him there, look at that. About a 4.5 kilo snapper. Beautiful snapper. With the day wearing on, I thought I'd shoot back out to Shag Island again for one last try in the shallows there. Oh, here we go. Yep, oh, nice one. Oh. Took that right below the surface. It's only a few metres deep in there. Oh. Real horizontal fight in the shallow, only 3 metres deep. Doesn't have to be a big fish to give you a big fight. That's the fun of sport fishing around the islands. Here he is. Look at that. A nice fish. Beautiful pan size. 40 centimetre snapper. Again, right in against the rocks. Beautiful. With the day wearing on, it was time to go and meet up with the mothership. How's it going? That's the beauty of the Hauraki Gulf. With all these islands, no matter which way the wind's blowing, there's always somewhere safe to anchor up for the night.